Hello, dear students. Uh, how are you? So I pray to God for all your safety uh, in this lockdown situation. So stay home, stay safe, and take care. So once again, I'm here in front of you to discuss about the reciprocating pump. So in earlier discussion, in earlier videos, that we have discussed about the reciprocating pump, starting from its working to the effect of the acceleration as well as the friction on the indicator diagram. So in earlier videos, in first videos, we discussed about the working, the discharge, work done, power required to run the pump, sleeve, and the coefficient of discharge, and some simple numerical. In second video, we have discussed about the effect of the acceleration, means while the reciprocating motion will takes place, then how there will be acceleration takes place in case of the piston, and what will be the effect of that acceleration on this what you can say on this particular flow of, or on the suction pipe or the delivery pipe. Okay, so same that we have seen the effect of the friction also, and the effect of both with the help of the graphical nature, that means with the help of indicator diagram. Okay, we have seen that the effect of the acceleration, the pressure head due to acceleration on the indicator diagram, as well as the pressure head due to, or you can say the pressure loss due to the friction. So that you have observed in case of the what you can say indicator diagram. So have you tried for that the effect of both, that is the pressure head due to acceleration as well as the head loss due to friction in pipes? Okay, so that will be the simply the same diagram, means there will be a combination of this both the diagram that you can observe. Okay, and in which we have to consider the effect of both. Okay, right, it means when theta equals to 0, so at that theta equals to 0, what will be the effect, or what will be the value of HAS? Okay, what will be the value of HFS? When theta equals to 90 degree, what will be the value of HAS? What will be the value of HFS? Similarly, when theta equals to 180 degree, what will be the value of same, the HAS and the HFS? Okay, in case of the suction side, similarly on the delivery side. So it will be observing that there is a variation of the pressure, which is sometimes you observe in case of below the atmospheric pressure, sometimes you are getting above the atmospheric pressure. So in that situation, you have to calculate the absolute pressure according to this indicator diagram, or according to the suction stroke as well as the delivery stroke. Okay, now today is our third what I can say, the third part that we are seeing about the reciprocating pump. And as I have discussed earlier with you, that in next lecture we are going to see about the air vessels. Okay, the use of the air vessels, and the effect of the air vessels on a reciprocating pump, and the some numericals based on this particular topic. Okay, so I think we should move for the what you can say, the next topic of our discussion, that is the air vessels. Okay, so uh, can you observe this particular diagram? Just observe this diagram. So what you can see in this diagram? So what you can see in this particular diagram, you are observing in this diagram there is a air vessels. Okay, so here it is a diagram of the reciprocating pump. So you are aware about this part of this one. This is a kind of a reciprocating pump. There is suction pipe, there is delivery pipe, there is a the piston and the cylinder, there is a piston rod and connecting rod and all. Here is the delivery wall and the suction wall. Now these two things are there, which are the new for one, and that is the air vessels. Okay, so air vessel is simply a kind of a chamber. Okay, in which the air is going to be compressed with once the water enter inside it, and when this compressed air is going to be expanded, then the water will come out from this particular chamber. Okay, so you can observe here the one air vessel which is provided over here, another air vessel which is provided at here. So which is very close to this particular cylinder. One is at the suction side, another one is at the delivery side. Okay, so this particular air vessel, what will happen in case of the air vessel, when there is excess amount of the water inside this particular pipeline, then that excess amount of water will enter into the air vessel. So while it will enter into the air vessel, what will happen, whatever the air inside that air the air vessel is going to be compressed. Okay, and that's why it will be at this particular region, and whenever this compressed air is going to be expanded, okay, this because it will try to force supply on that particular fluid, then when it applies some force on it, then the water will come out from this air vessel. Okay, so this is the very simple function of this air vessel. Okay, you might have seen this kind of the air vessel in case of the hydraulic ram pump also. Okay, there is also one air vessel which is provided at the delivery side of the pump. Okay, now this kind of the air vessel which just acts as an intermediate reservoir, or you may say that in case of the engine, the work of the flywheel. Okay, so you might have heard about the flywheel which is used to store the energy, okay, whenever there is not required, and whenever there is a requirement of that particular energy, whatever the stored energy will be there, it is going to be supplied from the flywheel. So it is just a kind of what you can say, the intermediate reservoir over here. Whenever there is a need of or the required of water, then it will give the water which is stored inside this air vessel will be helpful for what you can say, for the continuous flow of that particular fluid. And whenever there is excess of water, that excess of water will be enter into the air vessel whenever it is not necessary, okay, or not required, okay, in that particular pipeline, to maintain the what you can say, uniform flow of that particular fluid. Okay, so first of all, that the main function of this particular air vessel, as you know that in case of reciprocating pump, the flow will be just a single acting reciprocating pump, the flow will be just as an intermittent flow, means at the delivery side there will be a flow only, okay, there is not a uniform flow. Okay, so but whenever you require there is a continuous supply of water, okay, having this particular uniform rate, okay, the rate of flow of fluid, that means the discharge. So whenever you require the discharge is uniform, then you can go for this the air vessel. So with the help of this air vessel, you will get a constant supply of the fluid at a uniform rate. Another thing is that it is just used to save the work, okay, or the work done. So how it is going to be saved, that particular work done? This is just to avoiding the frictional resistance. So whenever the water will come from the sump at the cylinder of the pipe, okay, pump, at the cylinder of the pump, at that time what happen, whenever there is excess of water, that excess of water is going to be stored into the air vessel. So the next time there is not necessary to sump the water from the lower level to this particular level. So this particular water can be useful at here itself only. So there will be a less amount of the frictional resistance that has to tackle by that particular water which is flowing in this particular region. And that's why this whatever this particular resistance, the what you can say, the frictional losses, okay, from this region is going to be saved, and that's why the work done is going to be saved with the help of air vessel. So that we'll see with the help of some equation, okay, in percentage how much amount of the work is saved in case of the single acting as well as in case of the double acting reciprocating pump. Okay, and the third one is that run the pump at a higher speed. Okay, so as compared to the single acting reciprocating pump, okay, here the speed of the pump will increase because here we are going to be provided the two air vessels, one at a section side, another one as a delivery side, and that's why the flow will be obtained as a uniform at a constant flow rate, as well as the speed of the pump will increase, and it is used to avoid the separation of that particular fluid. Okay, so the separation of that particular fluid can be what you can say, represented as the H separation. So separation head is going to be avoided. So that can be obtained whenever the pressure inside this particular pump is going to be below, what you can say, the vapor pressure, okay, at the beginning of the suction stroke. So as you know that at the beginning of the suction stroke, the pressure goes below the what you can say, the atmospheric pressure, as well as there is a pressure head due to the acceleration also is going to be added in that particular suction side pressure. So it becomes what, it becomes very less than the atmospheric pressure, that is atmospheric. So absolute pressure at that point will be H atmospheric minus in bracket HS plus HAS. Okay, so that particular value, okay, that particular value should not go below the vapor pressure. If it is go below the vapor pressure, then the separation will take place. Okay, and if this particular value will reaching up to this vapor pressure value, that means the limiting condition for that. Otherwise there is the same kind of the thing, that is the cavitation is going to be occurring in other pipes. So here there is a separation of the flow will take place. Okay, so now we are just going to see here the particular diagram, what are the things over there. Again, that what the things, what I can say, what are the various equations of the formulas are there, which will be helpful while discussion on this one. So here there is a you can observe here is the discharge. Okay, as you know that the discharge is ln by 60. So we are going to discuss about what you can say, the mean velocity of the fluid. So we are going to discuss the mean velocity of that particular fluid which is flowing through a pipe. So mean velocity is representing simply the discharge upon the area of that pipe through which the fluid is flowing. So ln upon 60A, here there is L upon 60A, but n, this particular n can be represented as this omega equals to 2 pi n by 60. So n will be equals to 60 omega upon 2 pi. Okay, 60 omega upon 2 pi. So I am putting 60 omega upon 2 pi over here, and here the length of stroke, as you know that the length of stroke will be equals to twice r. So length of stroke will be equals to twice r. So this L equals to 2r. I'm just putting the value in this equation. We'll get this V bar equals to A by A omega r upon pi. Okay, here it is A by A omega r upon pi. So this is representing the mean velocity of that the fluid which is flowing through a pipe. Okay, now we'll see that the function of that particular air vessel, okay, while working this particular pipe. So remember that here the intention of that placing the air vessel are the continuous supply at a uniform rate, means you have to maintain the flow, that is the uniform flow, okay, in this particular pipeline, the suction pipeline as well as in the delivery pipeline. But what happened, whenever there is the what I can say, the piston movement will be there. So because of that, the movement of the particular piston, what happened, sometimes it is going to be accelerated and somewhere it is going to be decelerated or the retarded. So some acceleration and retardation of that particular piston will take place, and that's why here we need to understand what I can say, the basic the things what is going to be happen. Okay, so whenever this piston will move from inner dead center to the outer dead center, that means from left hand side, according to this diagram, from left hand side towards the right hand side, that means theta equals to 0 to 180 degree. So while it is moving, okay, we can divide this movement in two parts, that is the first half of the suction stroke and the second half of the suction stroke. So first half of the suction stroke is from theta 0 to 90 degree and second is 90 to 180 degree. And then we are going to discuss about the working of this particular the single acting reciprocating pump with the air vessels. Okay, so what happens whenever there is the suction stroke will takes place. So when the suction stroke will takes place from 0 to 90 degree, when the suction stroke will takes place from 0 to 90 degree, this particular piston is going to be accelerated. So okay, so it is going to be accelerated, and as you know that the value of HAS, okay, it is having at theta equals to 0 degree will be high, so there will be more suction at the beginning of it. Okay, and that's why here, because of this going to be accelerated, what you can say, this particular flow of the fluid, okay, it is also having the what you can say, the discharge will be more, and that's why the velocity of that particular fluid which is flowing through pipe will be greater than the mean velocity of it. Okay, the velocity will be greater than the mean velocity of it. So here there is a need of the water, that is the water which is discharging inside the cylinder, the water which is discharging inside the cylinder, which is required more. Okay, try to understand this thing. Here the water which is required at what you can say, at the first half of the suction stroke, the water required inside this particular cylinder or discharging in that particular cylinder will be more than what you can say, the water which is flowing through pipe, and that's why there is a need of excess amount of water. So this excess amount of water is going to be obtained through this air vessel which is provided only. So during the first of the suction stroke, when there is a more discharge is required in the particular cylinder, because of that the acceleration, okay, at the beginning of this particular stroke, so this particular fluid will be supplied by this air vessel. This amount of the fluid which is going to be supplied by the air vessel, and it is trying to maintain the mean velocity of that particular fluid inside this pipe. Okay, so what happened in case of the second half of the suction stroke? So second half of the suction stroke is from 90 degree to 180 degree. As you know that when this particular piston moves from 90 to 180 degree, there is a retardation will take place, and during retardation you might be knowing that the value of this particular HAS, okay, is going to be reduced. Okay, the value is also going to be reduced from that the HS. So at that time, the what you can say, at the retardation, what happened at the retardation, there is a what I say, the discharge required in the cylinder which is a less, which is required the less, and that's why whatever the fluid which is flowing through this particular pipe, okay, will be having the more discharge, even though its velocity is less than the mean velocity is going to be achieved, but it is according to the requirement of the fluid which is enter into the cylinder, okay, will be more, and that's why this will be the excess amount of water will be there. This excess amount of water will be enter into the air vessel, okay, during the second half of the suction stroke. Okay, here the retardation will take place, so less amount of the discharge is required in the cylinder. Okay, and that's why the water which is flowing through the pipeline will be having the velocity which is less than the mean velocity of it, but having the discharge, okay, of discharging this particular water through this pipeline will be excess, and that excess amount of the water will be enter into this the air vessel which is placed at the suction side of the pipeline, and that excess amount of water will be helpful in the next first half of the suction stroke. Okay, so in this way, whenever these at the second of the suction stroke, the water will be enter into the air vessel, and during the first half of the suction stroke it is required, and that's why it will be going to be it's going to be used, okay, in this particular pipeline, right? Now now just think about what will happen in case of the delivery stroke. So again, in case of delivery stroke, what will happen in case of delivery stroke? Again, during the first half of the delivery stroke, okay, again from 0 to 90 degree, you can say this particular what you can say, it is going to be accelerated, and because of that acceleration it will be apply the force on that particular fluid, and the fluid will be having the higher velocity than the mean velocity of the fluid, and that's why when the excess amount of the water will be there, it is going to be enter on into the air vessel which is placed at the delivery pipe, okay, which is placed at the delivery pipe side. Okay, and during again the second half of the delivery stroke, the retardation will take place, and because of that retardation the discharge will be less, and that's why the velocity will be less than the mean velocity of that particular fluid will be observing in the delivery side, and that's why there is a need of that particular the discharge of the flow need to increase and reach the velocity equals to the mean velocity of the flow of the fluid in a delivery pipe is necessary, and at that time this particular air vessels, whatever the water into the air vessel is going to be supplied, this water is going to be supplied into the delivery pipe, and that's why it will be maintain the velocity which is just above the side of the delivery pipe, which is equal to the mean velocity of the fluid, okay, mean velocity of that particular fluid which is flowing through the pipe. So in this way, during the first half of the suction stroke there is a need of higher discharge, and that's why we take it from uh, the air vessel which is placed at the suction side of the pump. Okay, and during the second half of the suction stroke there is a need of the less amount of the discharge required, less amount of the discharge required inside this particular cylinder, and that's why the excess amount of water which is in the suction pipe is enter into the air vessel, which will required, okay, the next time at the first half of the suction stroke. Okay, so in this way this particular air vessel just taking the, what you can say, the excess amount of water, okay, whenever not required, and then it gives this amount of the water whenever there is a required. So that's why it is called as the intermediate reservoir, okay, in between this what you can say, use in reciprocating form. Okay, so in this way, at the delivery site we will be observing the uniform flow. There is a continuous supply of water and there is a uniform flow of that particular fluid can be observed. Okay, at the same time, as I discussed earlier, that it is just trying to reduce the frictional resistance. Okay, because whenever there is a need of the requirement of the water can be easily obtained, okay, which is very close to this particular one, so it can be easily obtained over here. There is no need to lift the water from here to here again. So this fluid directly will be heated here, and in this case there will be some frictional resistance will be there, but it can be achieved this amount of the frictional resistance, and that's why the work done saved by this reciprocating pump can be observed. Okay, okay. So in this way this particular air vessel can work. So I hope that you will be what you can say, the understanding this particular, what you can say, the working of this air vessel in a reciprocating form. Okay, now we'll see that the how is the work is done. Okay, work done is going to be saved with the help of this air vessel in a single acting reciprocating pump. Okay. Okay, so let us discuss about that, the work saved by the single acting reciprocating pump. Okay, while you are placing or putting the air vessels, okay, at the suction side and delivery side, close to the cylinder, okay, close to the main cylinder where the water enters and exit from the cylinder. So now let us have to find out this the work done. So for that purpose, you just look at here. Here it is a work done against the friction without air vessel. If the air vessel is not provided, then how we calculate this work done? So this work done against the friction without this air vessel, in which we have obtained the expression for the velocity of that particular fluid which is flowing through a pipeline. That may be a suction pipe or the delivery pipe, and that is representing a by a omega r sine of theta. A by a omega of sine of theta. Okay, initially we have calculated the displacement, that linear displacement is x, so x equals to r minus r cos theta, and from that equation, okay, we got this the velocity, that is the rate of change of that particular displacement. We got the velocity, and that velocity will be representing a by a omega r is sine of theta. So this is the velocity of the flow which is flowing through a pipe, suction pipe or delivery pipe. Now this can be calculated by the expression, and what is that particular expression? That expression is equals to the hf equals to, that is hfs equals to 4 fl v square upon 2 gt. So it is 4 fl v square. So whenever there is a v is representing a by omega sine theta, at that time this hfs equals to 4 fl v square upon 2 gt. Now this particular, the work done can be represented as the area, okay, that area of that particular parabola. As you know that whenever there is a hfs, so hfs when theta equals to 0 is equals to 0, when theta equals to 90 degree it is maximum, when theta equals to 180 degree again it is 0. So we have seen that the nature of that particular curve will be representing as a parabolic in nature, and that's why here the work done, okay, against that particular friction can be represented by with the help of the area of that parabola. That will be equals to two-thirds of its base multiplied by height. So two-thirds of its base is, this is two-thirds, so this is the work done, that is the area of indicator diagram due to the friction, and that is representing the work done by the pump against the friction, and that is two-thirds into L into HFS. So this is two-thirds into L is, this is representing base, so you can observe here the diagram. Okay, so during the suction side there will be HFS, right? There will be a HFS. So this will be representing HFS. So the area of this particular, the parabola is representing two-thirds of this particular height multiplied by base. So that will be representing the area of this particular parabola, and that is representing this equation, that is 2/3 into L into base. This particular height is representing 4FL v square upon 2t. So when this particular theta, when theta equals to 90 degrees sin theta, that is sin 90 equals to 1, and that's why it becomes a by a omega r. So a by a omega r square. Okay, so this is representing simply 2/3 L 4FL v square. V means a by a omega r bracket square upon 2 dB. Okay, this is the equation number 1. Now whenever there is a, what you can say, the air vessel is provided, so because of providing the air vessel, what happen, it is giving that particular flow will be having the uniform flow, and there is a continuous flow. Okay, continuous and the uniform flow rate. So in case of uniform flow rate, there is a velocity which is also uniform, and that velocity called as mean velocity, and that mean velocity we have just seen in the we have seen just earlier that how that particular mean velocity can be obtained, that is v bar. So v bar is representing the mean velocity, and that is representing a by a omega r upon pi. Okay, that is simply obtained the discharge upon area. Discharge is ln by 60 upon area, and here putting the value of L equals to twice r, and n equals to that omega equals to 2 pi n by 60. So putting this n equals to this 60a upon 2 pi, and from that we will get this uniform velocity, or you can say the mean velocity of the fluid flow. Okay, that is a by a omega r upon pi. Okay, now whenever there is a what you can say, the air vessel is provided, obviously the area of that particular what you can say, the particular instead of the parabola now, okay, there is a mean velocity. So instead of parabola, it will be looks like an rectangle. Okay, it will be looks like a rectangle. So it means that here this is our the indicator diagram. Okay, and this will be representing the HF. Now this will be representing this HF. Now this HF means that here it is representing HF because of that the flow mean velocity. It is not like a parabola, it looks like a rectangle. So area of rectangle is simply this L multiplied by this height. Now this height is representing simply HFS, and HFS equals to 4FL v square upon 2GD. Now here this V is representing the mean velocity of it. Okay, so this is representing the mean velocity. You can say that suppose this is a mean velocity rectangle. Okay, this is a parabola, and this will be representing the mean velocity rectangle. Okay, are you getting this? Mean velocity, and sorry, I think you are observing it. Okay, so here this is suppose the suction side, this is the indicator diagram, and because of that the friction, this is the parabola. Okay, this is a parabolic also. But whenever there is a the velocity, that is the mean velocity is going to be observed, and that time this will be representing as a rectangle. This will be representing as a rectangle. So we have to find out the area of that particular rectangle, and that rectangle area is simply base into height, where this base is representing L, but the height is representing what? The height of that particular rectangle is HFS, that is the head loss due to friction will be there. Okay, but that friction is going to be reduced in such a way that where the velocity is representing the mean velocity, the constant velocity of the flow. So that is representing this L into HF. So again that HF is equals to 4FL v square. Now v is what? V is the mean velocity over here. So a by a omega r upon pi square. Okay. So this W2 can be represented so as this 1 by pi square. Just take this common, and remaining term as it is, that is L into 4FL upon 2GD a by a omega r square. Okay, just for the simplicity in this particular equation, I have just taken out 1 upon pi square outside. Okay, now we have to find out the work saved in a single acting reciprocating pump. Okay, we have to find out the work saved in a single acting reciprocating pump. So for finding the work saved, so this is the work that is required. Okay, whenever there is a friction will takes place, and whenever there is no friction will takes place, this kind of the work is there. So we have to find out the percentage of the work saved in case of single acting reciprocating pump. Simply that is W1 minus W2. Suppose if you require in terms of the percentage, then it is W1 minus W2 upon W1 into 100. So that will be give the value of, what you can say, that will give the value of the work saved. Okay, in case of a single acting reciprocating pump by using the air vessel in percentage. Okay, so let us see that W1 minus W2 upon W1 into 100. That is the equation is L into this W1 equals to L, this W1 is equals to what? It is in earlier equation, that is 2/3 of this L 4FL upon 4FL V square upon 2GD minus again the same equation, that is W2 1 upon pi square into again the same expression will be there. So for the simplicity, I have just taken out the same what you can say the equation outside it and the remaining in another bracket. So it will be L into 4FL 2GD upon A by A omega r square in bracket 2/3 of 2 by 3 minus 1 upon pi square, and here upon this 2 by 3 L 4FL upon 2GD A by A omega r square. So this term is going to be cancelled. Okay. So here this L will get cancelled. So here we get 2 by 3 minus 1 upon pi square minus 1 upon pi square upon 2 by 3. Okay. So we will just calculating it, and it is observed that is 84.8%. Okay. Okay, so it is observed that there is 2 by 3 minus 1 upon pi square upon 2 by 3, okay, into 100. So it is observed at 84.8%. It means the work saved in a single acting reciprocating pump is 84 point, what do you say, 84.8%. 84.8%. So if instead of a single acting reciprocating pump, if a double acting reciprocating pump will be there, then what will be the change in it? So you have to try for that. In case of a double acting reciprocating pump, what will be the mean velocity? So in that case, the mean velocity is going to be doubled, that you can observe. Okay, but the whatever the head loss due to friction that you can observe, okay, per stroke in case of the single acting reciprocating pump will be the same, okay, in case of the double acting reciprocating pump. So W1 will be equal to same, but W2 will be changed, and accordingly you will be observing the percentage, okay, in case of the double acting reciprocating pump. Okay, so try to find out the how much it is going to be percentage is there, which is obviously less, okay, as compared to the single acting reciprocating pump. But you can try to find out that the percentage saved, the work done. Okay, so work done, that is by the pump stroke against the friction, it is going to be saved in how much percentage. Okay, so this is all about that is the work done saved by single acting reciprocating pump, okay, in case of the if the air vessel is going to be provided in a single acting reciprocating pump. Now we have to move for the numerical base on this topic. Okay, so for this particular the numericals, I have just tried to find out all kinds of the numericals are there. So we will cover 4 different kinds of the numerical, so that you can cover all the types of the numerical based on this reciprocating pump. Okay. Okay, so we'll see some numerical based on this topic. Okay, so the first numerical is you can note down this numerical. The cylinder bore diameter of a single acting reciprocating pump is 150 mm and its stroke is 300 mm. The pump runs at a 50 rpm and lifts water through a height of 25 meters. The delivery pipe is 22 meter long and 100 mm in diameter. Find the theoretical discharge and theoretical power required to run the pump. If the actual discharge is 4.2 liter per second, find the percentage slip. Also determine the acceleration head at the beginning and the middle of the delivery stroke. Okay, so in this particular problem, what is given and what need to find out. So in given data, there is a bore diameter which is given as 150 mm, okay, and the stroke length is given as 300 mm. Then the pump runs at 550 rpm, so the speed of the pump is given as 50 rpm. Then the lifts water through a height of 25 meter, means the total height through which the water is lifted is given as 25 meters, that is capital H. The delivery of pipe is 22-meter long. That means the length of the delivery pipe is given as 22-meter, and the 100 diameter of the delivery pipe is given. You have to find out the theoretical discharge, that is QTH, then the theoretical power required, that is PTH, theoretical power. Then the actual discharge is given and need to find out the percentage of slip. Okay, also determine the acceleration head at the beginning and the middle of the delivery stroke. Means you have to calculate the acceleration head at the beginning, means at the beginning of and the middle of the delivery stroke. Means at the delivery stroke you have to calculate the head. Okay, that is HAD when theta equals to 0 degree at the delivery stroke, and HAD when theta equals to 90 degree at the delivery stroke. Okay, so let us first note down the data which is given to you. Okay, so diameter of the cylinder is given as 150 mm, and that is 0.15 meter. Okay, 0.15 meter. Then next is given as once the diameter is given, you have to calculate the area. That area equals to pi by 4 d square. Okay, so after putting this d equals to 0.15, you will get the area directly calculated. The area 0.01767. So 0.01767 meter square. Okay, now next is given as the stroke length. That stroke length will be given as 300 mm. That will be equals to 0.3 meter. So r, which is equals to radius, so that will be equals to radius of the crank. Okay, that will be equals to half of the next stroke, because L equals to twice r, so r equals to L by 2. Next one is the speed of the pump is given as total height. The speed of the pump is given as 50 rpm. Okay, total height which is given as 25 meter. Then the length of the delivery pipe LD is given as 22 meter. The length of the delivery pipe is 22 meter. Then the diameter. Okay, so diameter of this particular delivery pipe is given as 100 mm. So diameter of delivery pipe is 100 mm. That will be equals to 0.1 meter. So the area of the delivery pipe will be equals to pi by 4 this dd square. So we will get this particular area 0.007854 meter square. Okay, this is the area of this delivery pipe. Now the Q actual is also given. The Q actual. Okay, so Q actual is given in terms of liter per second, 4.2 liter per second. If you want, you can convert into meter cube per second. So 4.2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, meter cube per second. Okay, so that is 0.0042. You can write. Okay, this is representing the data which is given to you and what you have to calculate. So you have to calculate, the first is QTH, number one, that you have to calculate QTH. Second, that is PTH. Okay. Third, that is the percentage slip. Okay, the percentage slip. Then fourth one is need to be calculated the acceleration head, that is HAD at theta equals to 0 degree. Okay, means at the beginning of it, and HAD at theta equals to 90 degree. Okay, so these things that you have to calculate. So first of all, let's have the discussion on it. First of all, what you have to calculate QTH. How to get the QTH? QTH is simply ALN by 60. That is the theoretical discharge, and that we have seen in our first lecture. Okay, that is QTH equals to LN by 60. Then PTH, that means the power required to drive this pump, that is the theoretical power, and that theoretical power that we have seen the expression, that work done per second divided by 1000 in kilowatt. So that is rho GQ okay, or you can say the rho g LAN by 60, okay, multiply by HS by HD, again divided by 1000. So it becomes the rho g LAN, okay, into in bracket HS plus HD upon 60 into 1000. That will be theoretical discharge. The power required to drive the pump. Then third one is the percentage of slip. That, as you know, that the percentage of slip that we have calculated by this particular expression, that is Q theoretical minus Q actual upon Q theoretical multiplied by 100. So here the Q theoretical. So value of the Q theoretical is what? Q theoretical that you have calculated over here, and Q actual, which is representing 4.12. That is given as this particular 4.2. That is given as in liter per second. So here this both the quantity should be in the same unit, okay, while you are doing these calculations. Then we will get the percentage of slip, okay. Then mainly you have to calculate HED and HAS. HED at theta equals to 0 and HED when theta equals to 90 degree. So what is the expression for HED? So HED means it is the pressure head due to acceleration at the delivery pipe. So you might have remember about that equation, that HAD is equals to LD upon G into capital A upon small a, okay. So that here the area for this the delivery pipe, so we use AD here, and LG, where LD we are using because it is for the delivery pipe. So LD by G, A upon AD, capital A upon small ad, into this equation, that is omega square r cos of theta, okay. So by using this expression you will get the value of HAD, okay. So let us try to obtain the QTH first. So the QTH equals, that is LAN by 60, okay, where the length of stroke is 0.3 multiplied by area is 0.01767 into n, that is 50 rpm, divided by 60, you will get the Q theoretical, okay. So the value of Q theoretical obtained is 0.0044175. So 0.0044175, okay, in meter cube per second. This is representing the QTH, okay. Suppose I have to find out in liter per second, then this will be 4.4175 liter per second. This is Q theoretical, okay. Now PTH, second one is P theoretical. So QG LAN by 60, okay, into HS plus HD upon this 1000, okay. So I am having this value, okay, LAN by 60 just now above, that is the Q theoretical, and this HS plus HD is representing capital H, okay. So this is 1000, this is rho, okay, this is G 9.81 into LN by 60. We will be having this 0.0044175, okay, multiplied by 25, which is representing the H, divided by 1000. So 1000 get cancelled. After calculating this value, we will get 1.0833 kilowatt, okay. This is the PTH. This will be representing the PTH. Now the percentage of slip is simply percentage of slip will be equals to Q theoretical minus Q actual upon Q theoretical, will be representing multiplied by 100, will be getting the slip percent. QTH, that is 4.4175 minus 4.2 divided by 4.4175 multiplied by 100, okay, we will get this percentage of slip in 4.92. The answer is 4.92%, okay, 4.92%. Okay. So this is the value of percentage of slip. Now there will be an important one, that is HAD at theta equals to 0 and HAD at theta equals to 1. No, sorry, 90. So can I write here itself? So HAD, this HAD will be equals to L by G. So here LD by G, A by A, where A is AD, into omega square R into cos of theta. Okay, omega square R into cos of theta. So here the value of omega square. So omega is 2 pi n by 60. Okay, so as you know that here this omega equals to 2 pi n by 60. Okay, so you can calculate the omega. So 2 pi n is 50 rpm is given as, so omega will be obtained as the value 5.236 radian per second. Okay, so putting here value. Now this at the beginning means when theta is equals to 0, so cos theta, that is cos 0 equals to 1. So we will be getting this value. So put the value of LD, G, A, AD, then omega square R cos theta is equals to 1. So we will get this value of HAD, and that value of HAD will be representing as, or obtaining as 20.75. 20.75 meters. Now the fifth one is HAD, okay, is equals to the same expression at theta equals to 90 degree. So what will be the value of this expression? As cos 90 is equals to 0. So HAD. So in indicator diagram, you already observed that in indicator diagram, okay, whenever there is a delivery stroke, so at the delivery stroke, this is 0, this is 90, this is 180. So you can observe that at a 90 degree, the value of HAD is 0. Okay, so value of HAD is equals to 0, because when theta equals to 90 degree, the HAD becomes 0. Okay, so the answer is 0 meter. Okay, so in this way, in this first problem, we have seen how to calculate the theoretical discharge, okay, the theoretical power required to run the pump, as well as the important one is the HAD at the, we can say, the pressure head due to acceleration at the beginning of the stroke and at the middle of the stroke. What will be the value at the end of the stroke, this HAD? So again here the value of HAD is representing minus of this particular expression. So value will be equal to minus 20.75. Okay, so here it is plus 20.75 at the beginning, 0 at the middle, and minus 20.75 is at the end of the what you can say, the stroke. Okay, so this HAD will be representing this minus value of. Okay. Now we'll go for the second problem. Now second problem is the length and the diameter of suction pipe of a single acting reciprocating pump are 5 meter and 10 centimeter respectively. The pump has a plunger of diameter 15 centimeter and a stroke length of 35 centimeter. The center of the pump is 3 meter above the water surface in the pump, and the atmospheric pressure head is 10.3 meters of water, and the pump is running at 35 rpm. Determine number 1, pressure head due to acceleration at the beginning of the suction stroke. Number 2, maximum pressure head due to acceleration. Number 3, pressure head in the cylinder at the beginning and at the end of the stroke. Okay, so pressure head at the cylinder at the beginning and at the end of the stroke. Means here it is the not mentioned for the suction or the delivery, so we have to consider for both. Okay, that means the pressure head in the cylinder at the beginning of the suction stroke, okay, and at the end of the suction stroke. Similarly, at the beginning of the delivery stroke and at the end of the delivery stroke. Okay, so let us write down the data which is given in the particular problem. Okay, so what is given in the problem? In the problem is given as the length of the suction pipe and the diameter. Okay, the length of suction pipe is given as 5 meter. So the given data, length of the suction pipe ls is equals to 5 meter and the diameter is 10 centimeter. So ts equals to 10 centimeter, that is 0.1 meter. Okay, so you can calculate the area of the suction pipe. Pi by 4 E square is equals to this pi by 4.1 square, and that is 0.007854. 0.007854 meter square. You can calculate it. Okay, and then note it down. Now the diameter of plunger is given as 15 centimeter. So diameter of plunger 15 centimeter. So 0.15 meter. So the area of plunger or the cross section area of the cylinder is pi by 4 d square, and that will be representing 0.01767 meter square. Okay. Okay, so let's go for the next one. That is the stroke length is given as 35 centimeter. Stroke length 35 centimeter, that is 0.35 meter. Then the crank radius, so from it you can calculate the crank radius, that r equals to L by 2, that is equals to 0.175 meter. Now the suction head HS is given as 3 meter. There is a long kind of the data, okay, which is there in this particular problem. Atmospheric pressure head is given as, so even if it is not given, that you should know it is the 10.3 meters of water. Okay, now the speed of the pump is given as 35 rpm, and equals to 35 rpm is given. So from that we can calculate omega, because generally we require omega, that is 2 pi n by 60, and we get the value of omega is the 3.665 sorry radian per second. Okay, so this is the data which is given to you. Now what you have to calculate? You have to calculate the HAS. Now the HAS when at theta equals to 0. So when HAS at theta equals to 0, number 1, HAS at theta equals to 0. Okay, so HAS equals to what? LS upon G into A by AS, okay, into omega square R cos of theta. Okay, this is representing the expression. Okay, this is representing the expression for the HAS, that is the pressure head due to acceleration at a suction side and at the beginning of the suction side, that will be theta equals to 0. Okay, so for 0 equals to 1, so this becomes 1. Now put the value of all the parameters LS, G, A, AS, omega square. LS is known 5 meter, G is 9.81, capital A, this is pi by 4 this small as, this is representing AS, Okay, this one. Then omega square is omega 3.6, and r, that is r equals to L by 2. So putting the values in this expression, you will get a value of HAS, and that HAS is 2.695 meter. Okay. Now here it is asked the maximum value of HAS. So when you will get a maximum value of HAS, the maximum value of HAS will be get at the beginning of the suction stroke itself. Okay, and at the beginning when theta equals to 0, it means the maximum value of HAS will be equal to the same as just now we have calculated. So the HAS, okay, this HAS max will be representing the same LS by G A by AS into omega square R cos of 0. Okay, cos of theta equals to cos of, and that is 2.695 meter. Okay, so both will be having the same value here. Now the pressure head at the beginning of the suction stroke. So pressure head at the beginning of the suction stroke. So here it is not mentioned the which pressure. Okay, there will be two kinds of the pressure. One, the pressure which is representing the below atmospheric pressure. Okay, one will be representing the absolute value of the pressure. So we have to calculate both absolute value as well as the pressure below the atmospheric pressure or pressure above the atmospheric pressure. So it is according to the what you can say, the indicator diagram, you will be getting these particular values. So for understanding, better understanding, I will construct here the indicator diagram. This will be representing the ideal indicator. This will be representing the ideal indicator diagram and the effect of the pressure head. Okay, effect of the pressure head due to acceleration. We will be representing it here. Okay, we will be representing it here. At the suction side as well as at the delivery side. This is HAD. This is HB. This is HS. This one is HAS. This is HS. Okay. This line which is representing the H atmosphere, which is representing that 10.3 meters of water. Okay, so here there is a length of stroke and here there is a pressure head. Okay, okay, I got the diagram, I understood diagram because this diagram we have already seen. Okay, now we have to calculate what? We have to calculate the pressure head at the beginning of the suction stroke. So pressure head at the beginning of suction stroke. Beginning of suction stroke. So at the beginning of suction stroke, what will be the value of pressure? At the beginning of the suction stroke, the pressure is HS plus HAS. HS plus HAS. Okay. So this HAS we have just calculated at the theta equals to 0. That is this one. And HS, this value of the suction head, which is 3 meter. So it is 3 plus 2.695, that is 5.695. Okay, this value which is just representing the below atmospheric pressure. Okay, so below atmospheric pressure, the value which is the below atmospheric pressure, this value below atmospheric pressure. Okay, this value is below atmospheric pressure. This below atmospheric pressure is representing this one. So if you require the absolute value of pressure, so absolute pressure will be equal to the H atmospheric pressure minus this 3 plus 2.695. Okay, that means 10.3 minus this 5.695, and this will be observing as how much it is, it is going to be obtained as the 4.605 meter in bracket ABS. This will be representing the absolute value. Okay, are you getting this? This is representing the absolute value. Means in this particular diagram, this is atmospheric pressure, this is HS, this is HAS. So HS plus HAS will be having value of the pressure can be obtained. This atmospheric pressure minus this will be getting the absolute value of it. Okay, in case of the suction side, what will be there in case of the delivery side? So at the end of the at the end of the stroke, what will happen? At the end of the stroke, this HS minus this HAS, this HS minus HAS. Okay, so you will be getting this value is HS minus HAS. Okay, so 3 minus 2.6 at the beginning. This is at the beginning of the stroke. So at the end of the stroke. So this is the beginning. Okay, at the end of the stroke. Again at the suction stroke itself. Okay, at the end of the suction stroke, what will happen? At the end of the suction stroke, this value will be, so the pressure at the end of the suction stroke will be equal to HS minus HAS, 3 minus 2.695, and that will be representing equals to 0.305. 0.305. Okay, meters, which is below atmospheric pressure. So the absolute value of pressure, okay, is equal to this H atmospheric minus 0.305. Okay, so this H atmospheric minus 0.305 will be representing 9.995, which is the absolute value. Okay, are you getting this? It means you have to calculate the two values for the suction stroke at the beginning of suction stroke and at the end of suction stroke. So beginning of the suction stroke, the value of the pressure will be equal to whatever be the HS plus HAS. Okay, that will be the value, but which is below the atmospheric pressure. So absolute pressure will be equal to what? That H atmospheric minus this value will be give the absolute value of that pressure. Second, at the end of this suction stroke, again this value, that is HS minus HAS. So this will be having the value for the pressure which is below the pressure head, which is below the atmospheric pressure head. But the absolute pressure is again H atmospheric minus this value will give the absolute pressure at that time. Now at the delivery stroke, see what kind of the difference that you can observe. What happened in case of the delivery stroke? So is it asked that pressure head? Okay, similarly at the end of the at the beginning of the suction stroke, so the pressure head in the cylinder at the beginning and at the end of the stroke. So here it is not mentioned that for the delivery stroke again, but if you have to find out at the beginning of the delivery stroke and at the end of the delivery stroke, how that you have to calculate. Let us see that at the beginning of the delivery stroke, the pressure head is equals to, okay, HD plus HAD. So in this particular problem, the values, okay, for the delivery pipe and the things which are related to the delivery pipe is not mentioned, but if it is mentioned in the problem, then we have to use this formula for the calculation. Okay, so this HD plus HAD will be representing the pressure, okay, but it is above the atmospheric pressure. Okay, now the absolute pressure in that case, will be equal to what? H atmospheric plus, now here it is above that, above than that. Okay, so this H, what you can say, H atmospheric pressure plus Hs, that is HD, HD plus HAD. Okay, so H atmospheric plus this will be giving the value at the beginning of the delivery stroke. And when you go for at the beginning of, what you can say, the at the end of the delivery stroke, so at end the pressure head will be equals to, at the end of, means at here. Okay, so this is HD minus HAD, HD minus HAD. Okay, and this pressure will be just above the, this will be representing the above H atmosphere, this will be representing above atmosphere. Okay, so absolute pressure at that place equals to this H atmospheric pressure. Okay, H atmospheric, okay, plus H atmospheric plus this HD minus HAD. Are you getting this? HD minus HAD means this pressure, absolute pressure, you have to calculate it here. So this plus means this. Okay, so this plus this will be giving the value of, what you can say, the absolute pressure. Okay, so in this way, whenever you have to calculate the pressure or the absolute pressure, you have to use this kind of the expression. As you know that how we calculate the absolute pressure. Okay, absolute pressure means the pressure at that particular point. Okay, and the pressure which is greater than the atmospheric pressure, which is going to be measured by the pressure gauges. Okay, as well as the pressure which is below the atmospheric pressure is measured by the vacuum pressure gauges. Okay, these are the values that you can obtain from here. And for the calculation point of view, you have to just remember these things, that is, whenever it is below the atmospheric pressure and you have to calculate the absolute pressure, then reduce it from the atmospheric pressure, this value you will get the absolute one. But whenever the pressure which is beyond this atmospheric pressure, okay, then you need to be add this atmospheric pressure in it, so that we will get the absolute value of that particular pressure. Okay, so this kind of the problems are there, or numericals are there in this particular unit, so you have to take care of that. Okay, now there is one more problem that we'll see. Okay, in this particular problem we'll see the what you can say, the H separation and the maximum speed at which the pump can run without separation. Okay, the pump can run without the separation, so what should be the maximum speed of that particular pump? Okay, now note down this particular problem. A single acting reciprocating pump has a piston diameter 12.5 centimeter and stroke length 30 centimeter. The center of the pump is 4 meter above the water level. So this information is simply giving that the, what you can say, the suction head. Okay, suction head, as you know that from the sump level to the center of the pipe, that particular distance is a suction head. The diameter and length of suction pipe are 7.5 centimeter and 7 centimeter respectively. So one is representing diameter, that is 7.5, and length is representing 7 centimeter. The separation occurs if the absolute pressure head in the cylinder during a suction stroke falls below 2.5 meters of water. So here it is the value of that particular pressure. Okay, the pressure, if it is representing the vapor pressure value, means if the vapor pressure goes below, okay, if the pressure of that particular fluid goes below the vapor pressure of that liquid, then what, then there is a formation of the cavitation, there is formation of bubbles. Okay, and it is just creating generating the disturbance to the flow of that particular fluid, okay, through the pump. So we have to avoid this particular separation. This separation is going to be avoided that when the pressure should not go below this particular limit, and that is given as 2.5 meters of water. Okay, so till that particular value, is the pressure goes below up to 2.5, it's okay, but it should not go below that. If it is goes below that, then there is a separation is going to be occurs. So we have to limit it to that particular value. So here the H separation value will be representing the 2.5 meters. calculate the maximum speed at which the pump can run without separation. Okay, take the atmospheric pressure head is 10.3 meters of water. So even though if it is mentioned or not, you have to take it as a 10.3 meters of water. Okay, so very fast we'll see this particular the solution of this particular problem. Okay. Initially we note down all the data which is given in this particular problem. Okay, so here it is given as the diameter of piston 12.5 centimeter, that is capital D, 12.5 centimeter, that is 0.125 meter. Okay, you required the area, that is pi by 4 d square, and you can calculate it 0.1227 meter square. Okay, now the stroke length is given as 30 centimeter, L is given as 30 centimeter, so 0.3 meter. Then there is a crank radius is R equals to L by 2, and that will be equals to 0.15 meter. Then there is a suction head, right? As we have seen that there is a 4 meter above, okay, from the sump level, that is representing 4 meter. Diameter of suction pipe 7.5 centimeter, ds equals to 7.5 centimeter, that is 0.075 meter. Okay, and from that we will get a value of as also. The as is equals to pi by 4 ds square, and we will get a value of as is 0.004418 meter square. Okay. Now the length of the suction pipe is given as 7 meter, ls is given as 7 meter. Then there is a separation head, so as separation it can be represented like this. Separation head given as 2.5 meter, this is 2.5 meter, which is representing its absolute value, which is given as, okay, and this H atmospheric pressure is given as 10.3 meters of water. That is given in this particular problem. Okay, so what you have to do, and what is asked, calculate the maximum speed at which the pump can run without separation. So the condition for the separation is that this particular value of the pressure should reach up to 2.5 only. Okay, it should not go below the 2.5 value of it. So from the indicator diagram, as we have seen earlier, the indicator diagram, the absolute pressure head during the suction stroke is minimum at the beginning of the stroke, because at the beginning it goes below it, that is HS plus HAS it goes. So it should goes up to what? It should goes up to the separation, H separation value of it. So we can write this H separation will be equals to what? Okay, and here the absolute value of the separation, H separation is mentioned. So we require the absolute value of that pressure. Okay, so at the beginning of the suction stroke, it happens at the beginning of suction stroke only, that's why at the beginning of suction stroke, okay, the pressure head will be representing the HS, which is a minimum. Okay, so the minimum value of this pressure will be HS minus HAS. Okay, but if this is below the atmospheric pressure, but if we require this absolute pressure, so it can be written as 10.3 minus HS minus HAS, 10.3 HS minus HAS. So it will be representing the absolute value of it. Okay, Now from this particular expression, what we do, we require the maximum speed. So speed is n, so it so what you can say, the constant with the omega, that is omega equals to 2 pi n by 60. So what we will do, we will just find the two expression for HAS and equate these two expression, okay, and then we'll calculate the value of omega, and from after that we'll get a value of n from it. Okay, so from this expression, so this will be representing the H separation. So this H separation should be equal to this S separation, absolute value should be equal to this. Okay, it should not be go below than that. Okay, so this S separation is representing 2.5 equals to 10.3 minus this HS is representing 4 minus HAS. Okay, so from that I'll just calculate the value of HAS. So HAS is 10.3, it is 10.3 minus, here I'm getting this value 4, okay, minus here it is 2.5. So I'll get this HAS will be equals to 3.8 meter. 3.8 meter, this is our equation number 1. But I know that also the HAS equals to LS on G, A by AS, okay, into omega square R cos of theta. Okay, so it is the beginning case, so cos theta is equals to 1. Okay, and here this omega equals to 2 pi n by 60. So I put here the value of HS from equation 1. So HS is 3.8 equals to LS by G. LS is 7 by 9.81 into capital A is 0.1227 upon AS 0.004418. Okay, in this is A by S in omega square. Omega square I'll write as it is into R. R will be representing as the half of this one, that is 0.15 into this cos theta will be. So from this expression I will get a value of omega square. Okay, so after solving I will get a value of omega square. Omega is 2 pi n by 60. Okay, so n equals to 60 omega upon 2 pi. We will get a value of omega from here, and then putting in the equation I will get a value of n, that is 34.14. 34.14, obviously it is in RPM. So in this way we will get the value of n. In this way we will get a value of n. Okay, so in the fourth problem I'll just give you as an assignment, but I will give you the clue for that particular, for solving this particular problem. Okay, so you can note down this problem number 4, and that will be the last problem. Okay, the diameter and stroke length of a single acting reciprocating pump are 12 centimeter 1 2 and 20 centimeter respectively. The length of suction and delivery pipes are 8 meters and 25 meters respectively. So suction pipe 8 meter, delivery pipe 25 meter, and their diameters are 7.5 centimeter. So diameters of both the pipes are same. Okay, the suction pipe diameter and delivery pipe diameter is equals to same, and that will be equals to 7.5 centimeter. If the pump is running at 40 rpm, and is 40 rpm, and suction and delivery heads are 4 and 14 respectively. So suction head is 4 meter, delivery head is 14 meter, 1/4. Find the pressure head in the cylinder. Find the pressure head in the cylinder. Number 1 at the beginning of the suction and delivery stroke. Number 2 in the middle of the suction and delivery stroke, and third at the end of the suction and delivery stroke. Now in this particular problem, here it is only mentioned that the pressure head in the cylinder. So pressure head in the cylinder, okay, at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end of suction stroke and the delivery stroke. Okay, even here you have to calculate the absolute value of it. Okay, second thing is that here also mentioned, I forget to mention here that if the H atmospheric pressure is 10.3 meters and the F is mentioned as 0.009 for both the pipes. That means the coefficient of friction is also given. So it means that here you have to calculate the values for the pressure head due to acceleration, also the loss of head due to friction. Okay, so every time you have to check the value of the HAS and HFS. Like for example, at the beginning of the suction and the delivery stroke. So at the beginning, what is the value of theta? 0 degree. At 0 degree, what is the value of HAS? The value of HAS will be equal to LS by G, A by AS, omega square R cos of theta, right? What is the value of HFS? So the value of HFS equals to 0. Okay, so this value is not going to be added in it. So initially it will be having HS plus HAS only, HS plus HAS only. So the value which is below the atmospheric pressure and the absolute pressure, that can be observed at the beginning of the suction stroke. But at the middle of the suction stroke, the HAS will be equals to 0, but HFS is maximum. So the value of this HFS is going to be added in HS. So HS plus HFS will be giving the value of the pressure, okay, that is below the atmospheric pressure. So again it to be find out the absolute pressure in that case. So it is simply subtracting from 10.3, you will get a value. That is the subtraction that will always on the suction side, that you will be observing from the atmospheric pressure. Whenever there is on a delivery side, it is going to be added, means atmospheric pressure is going to be added in whatever the calculation of the pressure is going to be exerted over there, okay, or the pressure head value will be there. Okay, so similarly at the end of the suction stroke, what will be the case? At the end of the suction stroke, again the HFS equals to 0, but again the HAS will be representing the what you can say, the negative value of it. So that's why the pressure will be HS minus HAS at that time, okay, and that value will be representing below the atmospheric pressure. But again for the absolute pressure, it is going to be subtracted from 10.3, okay, so that will get the absolute value of it. It means you are at so this is the case, that at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end of the delivery stroke, similarly that you can be obtained in case of the delivery stroke. So I hope that you are just understanding the things, because but this understanding will be there once you go through the earlier two videos of it, because earlier we discussed about the indicator diagram and the pressure head due to acceleration, okay, in the indicator diagram, and the friction head. So the same kind of the calculations are there in this particular problems, and that's why it is try to understand what you can say, the indicator diagram and the effect of the acceleration as well as the friction, the separately and combinedly on the indicator diagram. Okay, so I think it is sufficient for today. Okay, so in this way, here this is the part of the reciprocating pump from third part, and here we have finished our the part of the reciprocating pump. So from your side, you have to do some kind of what you can say, the solve some more number of the problems on a reciprocating pump. Okay, and what you can say, try to understand the indicator diagram, the effects on that indicator diagram thoroughly, and so that you will be that will be very easy to understand while solving the numerical base on the topic. Okay, so in this way, here the reciprocating pump is over. Okay, now the second part of this unit, okay, is the rotary pumps. Okay, so next lecture we'll see in short what I can say, that is the completely the theory part of it. Okay, so in short we'll discuss about the rotary pump in the next lecture. So till that, stay safe, stay home, okay, and just continuing and seeing this or you can continue your study by seeing this kind of the videos or the lectures. Okay, and what I will say at the end, just to like these particular videos and subscribe these particular videos. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you.